Can I ask you a question?
The Bolton ink effect.
So Louis, this is going to be a bit of fun.
I'm up for it. Welcome.
Some rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire questions.
Have you ever done anything illegal? The answer is no.
No.
What's something that I don't know about you?
I can't tell you that on the podcast.
Because then I don't. Do you use a night cream?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
Do you want to do a product plug?
A product plug, cheapest. There's a bit of a story to that though, because I mean, I'm not someone that uses night creams or you know, I'm a bloke, and you've always been hassling me for I don't know how long. You must put cream on your face. You know, you've got to look after your wrinkles. You've got to look after your skin in your old age. And I'm like, yeah. And I think after years and years and years of just gently nudging me towards, something, and I could never really find the right product or the right thing because I didn't understand. I didn't really have influence on it.
No, you just didn't look. You just were not interested enough.
Long story short, I came across this brand called Two Dudes, which are run by two guys up in Auckland, and they're amazing, and it's a very simple structure, and there's no big explanation. It's a night cream and a day cream and a face wash. They also do shampoo and body stuff and like that. And I bought the night cream or the face wash and the night cream, and then I've used the day cream as well. So that's what I do now. And I mean, look at my visage. I mean, it looks great. And it does make me feel better, and it just feels like, self-care and looking after myself. So yes, I do have a little bit of a personal grooming regime. Not as hectic as yours or Miss 14s.
Easy.
But,
never. And she's not 14 yet.
She will be by the time this podcast comes out.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
I'm not a big fan of watching sport, funny enough. I just, if it's there, I mean, obviously rugby is amazing to watch if New Zealand are playing or South Africa are playing. I'm a passionate cyclist, mountain biker, and now a gravel rider. So if I get the opportunity to watch that, I really enjoy that.
What is some advice you would give your 20-year-old self?
Advice I'd give to my 20-year-old self. Good question. Take it easy on yourself. You've got time. Try a whole lot of different things and give it a go. Get stuck in and give it a go. Don't be afraid to ask that question or to go up to that person, whatever that looks like in whatever environment, and get the knowledge get the answer that you want for the question that you have, in order for you to learn more and grow more. Just don't be afraid, and you've got time, and be gentle with yourself.
Would that advice be any different to your 30-year-old self?
Probably not. No, probably not. I mean, I would say work hard.
Work harder.
Work harder.
In your case. You used to take things pretty easy.
Did I?
Yes, very much so.
Do I take things easy now?
No.
Yeah, I think that would be a big thing. It's just work hard, get it done. Get it done.
Where do you see yourself? What does retirement mean for you?
Great question. We have been on this journey now quite intensively over the last 18 months. Retirement for me.
So when you say
rephrase.
No, hang on. When you say that we've only been on it for the last 18 months, was retirement not a thought before that?
Retirement has always been at the back of my mind, but I've never actually explored it or actually thought about it.
For it.
Sorry?
Have you never planned for it?
I've never planned for it, no.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and I think, we're both in our 50s now. It suddenly raises its awareness and its head because we are 50 and our parents are in certain situations, good and bad. And it's a discussion that you and I have had because obviously we don't want to be working. Well, essentially what happened was I don't want to be eating dog food when I'm 70. So the discussion came about of what does that look like? What does retirement look like? And goes back to the question that you asked earlier, what would I say to my 30-year-old self is, I wish I'd started earlier, but hindsight is 2020. So what does it look like for me? It looks like being able to choose what I want to do when I want to do it. So being financially free.
And what would you give? What sort of advice would you give regarding being financially free?
If you've got enough for beans and rice and you've got enough to look after the family, then money is just a story, okay? And that story comes in where you are able to trade it for other experiences. So I would like to have those kind of bases covered. I'd like to have enough to feed us, a roof over our head, and to have the ability to choose what to do. I do believe in I do believe in a rewirement rather than a retirement, because I think in this day and age we're going to be living a lot longer. And I don't see myself retiring. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. So I don't see myself ever just sitting back reading, the iPad. I was going to say newspaper, but that's the wrong thing. It's not something that we do. There's always going to be something that I would like to do. So I'd like to be able to, maybe do something different from, the director of photography work or the editing. Maybe that goes into mentorship. Maybe that goes into a different business. But the rewirement of actually choosing something different to be able to go into your later years, to keep you stimulated and keep you young, I think is what I would like to achieve. I'm going to throw it straight back at you. What does retirement look like for you?
I haven't traveled to the extent that I want to travel. There are countries that I want to go and live in for 3 months.
Okay.
I'd love to go and live on a boat off the coast of Greece. I want to go to Montenegro. I want to explore Europe. I want to go to Canada. I want to go mushing with the Huskies. There's so much that I want to do. I want to do the Trans-Siberian train. There's so much that I want to do. And I don't think that I'll ever get too old to travel. So that's part of what I see as my retirement. And I would like to get some of these books out of my head. And write the books that I want to write.
Love that.
Yeah.
I do see that in you, though. There's definitely a book in you that needs to get out.
Oh,
everyone says there's a book in there,
yeah,
but
there's a few.
When it comes to you,
Yeah.
and I'm going to task you with that. That would be great.
Yeah. So I've got the beginning of a few books that are there, and so ChatGPT and I are just working through things.
Right.
Because I've
TBC.
Yeah, exactly. So that's retirement for me. I guess Miss 13 at some point will have children, and I can't wait to tell them the most terrible things about their mother.
Jeepers creepers.
No,
They'll come running to me to make sure that everything's fine.
Some financial advice that I would give myself is, yes, very much start early and never lose track of that goal.
How do you get that through to a young person, though? Like, how do you actually...
You make it...
Because life is so long when you're 20 or 30.
But you make it a constant part of conversation and you normalize it.
Right.
And so I've said to Kenz, in an ideal world, once she starts working, she can she can buy the flat and just have lots of her mates come and live with her, because that's what they do here. They flat together. So she can own that, which means that if she goes overseas, she can rent it out and she's always got something to come back to. I do feel like we traded lifestyle for financial gain when we came out to New Zealand.
Well, we started from scratch, didn't we?
It cost us an enormous amount of money to come out here, and I don't care that it cost us that, because I pay that over and over and over again.
That number is kind of irrelevant.
It's totally irrelevant. But what it does mean is that you, as you say, you do start from scratch, and that's why we got to a point, and thank goodness we did. We got to the point where we engaged a financial advisor.
Yeah, that was an interesting journey,
and that was amazing. That was heartbreaking, and there were times when we were very optimistic about it. But he's got this incredible software so you plug in certain amounts of data and it calculates, and over 5 years you can see this is what's happening, over 10 years that's what's happening, and so these are the things you need to put in place now. My brain doesn't work like that.
No,
and so I so appreciate that somebody else's brain does.
I remember one of the first conversations that we had with our financial advisor, and it was very confronting for me. In fact, I actually stormed out of the meeting because it was just too much for my brain to contemplate. And maybe there was a bit of guilt involved, maybe there was a bit of anger involved, but I had to process a lot of stuff of how I saw money and saw my retirement. And I'm glad that happened. And he probably knew that that was going to happen. And you and I had a long discussion about it afterwards, after the temperatures simmered down a bit. But I'm grateful for that process, because it definitely cracked a shell. It definitely opened up something where I feel a lot more confident that we're on the right path and we have a plan.
I think the two most influential people that we've met that have shaped our financial future are our mortgage advisor and our financial advisor.
Yeah, there's one other person that has highly influenced me, and I'll get to him a little bit later. But yes, it's definitely, I've been schooled and I've educated myself about it, because it's become so important.
Yeah. So I think the message here is it's actually never too late to start saving. No. It's never too late to start looking after your future self, whatever that picture looks like. And sometimes you just need a helping hand to get there.
Yeah, and ask.
Yeah,
keep saying it.
Exactly.
Ask.
And there are so many resources for that.
Okay, last question. Those are great questions. I'm not going to ask them back to you, because
no, this was me putting you under fire.
Oh, all right, cool. I'll ask you one last question. What's for dinner?
Haven't planned that far ahead.
Right. We'll leave it there. Listen, thanks very much for joining us. For the folks out there, please let us know what you think about these podcasts. Let us know what you think about these podcasts. Send us feedback. Get in touch. Tell us how rubbish we are. Tell us how great we are. The feedback is good, and it's a journey that we're on, and we'd love you to join us with this journey. So how can we help?
Can I ask you a question?